Hey guys, so here I am, and I'm doing a little video here to help coach you through the beginning parts of our pizza project that we're doing. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself your paper bag, your shopping bag, and your pair of scissors. And very careful, don't cut your arm off. But you're going to find one of the folded seams right along here, and you're going to cut straight down as neatly as you can down the side of your bag, down one of those seams right there. And you'll notice that that seam, that fold follows right along the foot of the bag. So I cut right down here, and then I'm going to cut right along the foot as well. I keep tearing it. Don't tear it. I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut it right there. Boop. So now I got the whole side of the bag cut, and now I'm going to cut right along the foot of the bag. Here's where the bottom of the bag is. I'm just going to continue to cut right along that edge. And you know, there's really not a super wrong way for you to do this, because what you're trying to do is just open up this bag and get as big a piece of this paper bag material as you can. So I'm just going to keep cutting along the bottom of the foot of the bag. And when I do that, it kind of unfolds, you know, into this big piece. I'm trying to make it as big as possible. So it's kind of interesting to notice the structure of a bag. I'm going to cut along here. Boom, 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 boom. Again, if you cut along the wrong edge, it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to get some nice big pieces of the bag. So the way that I did it, now I end up with this big, long piece of paper, because you can see how it was sort of folded before. That it was kind of like this. I put the scissors down so I don't poke my eye out. You can see that here was the bag before, right? And I cut down along the side, and then cut along the foot, and then it opens up. And then here's the little foot, the little butt of the bag, where the seat of the bag, where it would used to sit if this was a bag, but it's not any longer. Now it's a giant piece of almost pizza. So that is your first step that you're gonna do, is get your bag cut out all open, so you have some nice big pieces of paper bag paper to work with. All right, I'm gonna stop you there and let you do that. Take that, get that step going. All right, you guys. So here we are. I've got my paper all laid out flat. Here's the flap of the bag, and I don't actually need this piece at all. And so I'm just gonna cut it off of there, just so it's out of my way. Thank you for being what you were there, bag. You also are not gonna need the handles. So I'm gonna take those over here, and I'm gonna just trim those guys off. Careful again, don't cut your fingers. And so those things are not needed, they're gone. So now I've got this giant piece of paper. Now you'll notice I asked you to have 2 different paper bags. Here's my second one ready to go. And eventually I'm gonna do kind of the same thing to that bag. Just because you're gonna need to have the pizza, and you're also gonna need to have your pizza box that you're working with, right? So I'm gonna tilt my camera up here, since you don't need to look at that. You need to look at this, and you can wanna look at my happy face, right? Don't you? Don't you wanna see my happy face? Okay, here we go. All right, so here's my happy face. Okay, so now what we need is the pizza, right? And you can sort of see how, if this was a pizza box, if I were to fold it, that this is how big the box would be. This would be the seat of the box, because the pizza box is not going to actually have sides unless you really want to get creative and try and build a box shape out of that, which you could, I guess. You could sort of fold up the sides. But the problem with that is that that when you do that with your paper and fold up your sides here and here and here and here, that makes your pizza really smaller. You lose surface area of your pizza. And you want your pizza to be nice and big. So so I'm going to take this. What's nice about this bag is that if I mess up this first one, I have the second half. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it in half. All right. And this is going to be my pizza. I'm going to take this extra piece right here that we don't need. I'm going to set it aside. That's going to be my backup in case I mess up on this one here, right? So now I'm basically going to take my piece that I have here. Let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to make myself a round shape here for my pizza, right? And so you were supposed to have some crayons or colored pencils. I'm gonna grab myself a colored pencil here, just so I can draw and I pick a light color just so I can sort of see it, but it won't really be distracting. I'm gonna draw myself as big of a circle as I can, trying to keep it as round as possible and trying to use up as much of the space. Well, of course, that's not really helpful because you guys can't see it. So let me try it again. I'm gonna trace the circle I just made with this marker right here. I've never eaten a purple pizza, but this is a purple marker. And so, but hopefully this will be nice and clear for you. But this is my pizza that I drew for myself. And I'm trying to make it as big as possible, round as possible, but that fills this half of the page that I got. This, I cut this bag in half. I want to make it as big as I can make it. All right. So once I drew that, I'm going to then cut that circle out. So I'm going to give you a moment to trim, to get your half of a bag, get yourself a marker or a pencil, draw yourself your circle as big as you can that fits on this page. If you find yourself cutting away a lot more and your pizza is too small, then fortunately you have that other scrap piece that you didn't use. And you could try your circle again, but try and make your circle as big as you can and round as you can, but still it fits on this page here, all right? So come back when you're all ready with that. All right, did I say that you were gonna cut your circle out? If I didn't, you're gonna cut your circle out, right? And obviously this is gonna be our pizza side because this is the side that has the label on it, and you don't want that. So this is gonna be our side that we're gonna build our pizza on, right? So now that I've got my circle, my pizza circle, that I'm gonna build upon, you're actually gonna start by doing a little folding it into fourths because I just wanna make sure that you can do that. So I'm folding it in half. I'm gonna take that half and I'm gonna fold that in half. And when I did that, I realized, oh, there's some edges here that are sticking out a little bit. So my pizza wasn't really as round as I wanted it to be. It's not as even. So I'm gonna take this moment to just do a little bit, not a lot. I'm not trimming a whole lot. I'm just trimming a little bit of that edge so that it feels very even. So that now I have all of my pieces here line up right, nice and neatly along that edge. And I've got my scrap. I'm gonna get that out of the way. Don't throw it on your ground. Your parent doesn't wanna pick that up. But now when I open up my circle, it should feel a little bit more round. It's a little bit more circular. It's beautiful. All right, so go ahead and pause that video and come back when you have got your nice round circle that has been folded into fourths. All right, because we'll need it in fourths for later in the project, all right? Okay, for the next part of the pizza project, you're gonna need to have some colored pencils. So here, use these oh wait, there's no colored pencils here. Hold on, good, now we got them. So use these colored pencils to make your pizza look as cheesy and delicious, cheesy, saucy, whatever, however you like your pizza, as cheesy and delicious as you can. Now I know some of you maybe you want gluten-free pizza, or maybe you want tofu pizza, or maybe you want to have, I don't know, maybe it's like dairy-free pizza, but you're gonna make it look as deliciously pizza-ish as you can using colored pencils. And I'm gonna encourage you to slow down and take your time to make it look really, really nice so that, that it doesn't look scribbly. And the temptation is going to be to make it look really scribbly. So I picked out some colored pencils here. I've got some different shades of orange and yellow and red that I'm gonna use for the sauce. And here's the nice thing about colored pencils or crayons is that they can layer pretty well. So I can take my red and I'm gonna do a nice, super solid, careful coloring of that using the side of the colored pencil there. Right? So I'm gonna have my nice shaded in red. Look how solid that is. That looks really, really nice. But then I can take my orange and go on top of it. And you can layer, you can do the same thing with crayons. You can use the same thing. You could use colored pencils layered on top of crayons, or crayons layered on top of colored pencils. So I just used this this yellow here, or this orange. I'm gonna add some yellow to it. I'm gonna layer that on top, right? And what's really cool about it is it kind of blends a little bit nicely with the red. Use a different color yellow here, and just kind of really layer it up there. Change the direction of my shading, right? So that when it's all done, it looks kind of blendy, and you can even take your finger and do some smudging here, and kind of just really, once you've got it on there, kind of smudge it all together. Do your best, like I'm using my hand here to hold the paper down firmly, but you can use your finger here to do some nice smudging on there to kind of blend it together a little bit. And then it kind of looks like a piece of a big pizza with cheese. Now, don't forget that on a typical pizza, it's all cheesy and saucy in the middle, but that edge around the edge of the circle, around the edge of the pizza, that's where your crust is. So I'm gonna take a brown, not that I want it to be a burnt crust edge, but I'm gonna take my brown and I'm going to draw a circle around the edge to sort of be that crust edge, right? Because you want it to look like a nice pizza that has your crusty edge here. So I'm going to draw my circle. I'll show you in a second what that looks like. But see how I did my circle around the edge so that I have a circle. It's about, I don't know, an inch and a half in, right? And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do my nice coloring of brown around that edge. Really careful coloring to, make it look really attractive. You could also blend on top of dark brown. You can blend on top of that light brown, and that kind of makes it look a little less dark, a little less burnt. Or you could just do whatever you want. I don't know how gluten-free pizza looks on the edge, but maybe it looks the same way. But here's, do some blending here, but kind of make the edge of your pizza look kind of nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have this be the last video of what we're doing today, because this is gonna take you a little while to cut your pizza out and color nice and solid in the middle, all your cheesy, saucy stuff, and all the way around the edge, your crusty stuff. And then you'll have your foundation piece, the foundation of your pizza that you'll need. And tomorrow, I know that we don't have class tomorrow, but I'm gonna post the part 2 of this video tomorrow, which is going to tell you what your next step is of your pizza project, all right? In class, if you recall today, we're working on some math problems that are gonna help you with your pizza project. But the part that you're doing at home with these videos is the construction of your pizza. We're doing all the mathy bits in class, and you're doing all the fun coloring bits at home. So anyway, there is your end of your first video that we're gonna be doing. You should, by the end of the time you're done today, have a nice colored, thoughtfully created pizza foundation that we're gonna build upon in our next video, all right? Happy coloring, you guys. Get it looking really nice, okay? And we'll check in. You'll see another video posted in Google Classroom tomorrow, and there you will see what to do next. All right, thanks, bye. Oh, it looks delicious. I'm so hungry.